Hello all you lovely Bitcoiners, this is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, back with another video in my series Bitcoin for Beginners from our cruise ship somewhere out in the Atlantic. So forgive the backdrop, very difficult to try and do a Bitcoin video and set up my equipment in a non-spacious stateroom of a cruise ship, but here we are. I did say I was committed to doing my Bitcoin shows, so here I am, and today is the 13th of October 2019, and I am doing my Bitcoin show from out on the ocean. So welcome everyone. This is obviously going to go up as a premiere, so when you're watching it there's a chance that I can't be on with you, because each evening around 4:30 UK time we actually leave port and we head out into the open sea. So if I am delayed I will be in the chat with you all, but barring that, please do pound the like button, like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so you get notified when I go live. Do all the normal stuff we do when I'm back at home in the studio. Again, follow me on Twitter at UK Bitcoin Master, Steemit, BitBacker.io, DTube. They are all at UK Bitcoin Master, and yeah, run BTC. So that said, let me get the preliminaries out of the way. And firstly, whoops, I had it on there already, my disclaimer. Don't take anything I say as financial advice, people, because it certainly is not meant to be financial advice. It is just my opinion based on going down the rabbit hole 2.5 years ago. So whatever you do, do your own research. Don't buy what you don't feel comfortable with. Don't buy what you can't afford. Only purchase cryptocurrency that you could afford to lose, because we know investments can go down as well as up. So that said, I want to pop up my websites. You should be able to see them there at the bottom. UKBitcoinmaster.com and BitcoinInterviews.com are the websites that house all the Bitcoin videos I have ever done. So do check them out. At the end of the show, the squares will come up where you can click on them. UKBitcoinmaster.com houses every video I've ever done, and BitcoinInterviews.com just houses all the live interviews I've done with serious thought leaders within the Bitcoin space. So do check those out. Finally, you'll see a tippin.me address there. If you want to donate a small amount of Bitcoin through the Lightning Network, you can use that. I don't run this channel for any type of financial gain, but people have commented before saying, how am I supposed to leave you a tip for a great show? So it's there for anyone that wants to use it. So let me get that out of the way. So what I want to do, we've been at sea most of the day, so it's been very difficult to do any research. I've just found a few articles that I'd like to whiz through with you all, and we'll have a little discussion about them. So if I head on over to the desktop, the first thing to notice, according to what my computer is saying, Bitcoin sat around $8,443, which is nice and steady again. But again, no financial advice, no price predictions on this channel. It is just a channel based on my own views. But it's good to see, you know, Bitcoin, when it started out, people were buying a Bitcoin for 25 cents, you know, and now Bitcoin's, you know, $8,500. So, you know, a long way to come in its 10-year history. We're into its 11th year now. And I say to anybody looking at this channel, looking at these videos, if this replicated this growth from 25 cents or 1 cent or whatever it was when it started out, and grew to $8,500, which is, I don't know what percentage that is, but it's crazy. Imagine if you owned one Bitcoin now and it grew 8,000 times. Would you be happy in 10 years' time? And that's where I believe my belief comes from, that Bitcoin has got the ability to do that. I believe that ultimately it will be the future of money. It will be gold 2.0. But you know what? Hey, what do I know? This is just my own personal view. So if I pick up the first article that we're going to have a look at, hold on a second because I can't see it. Oh, neither can you by the look of that. Hold on a second, people. I've gone and done that again. I've hit the wrong button. There we are. So basically, this, yeah, you should be able to see that now. Wall Street may support Bitcoin adoption, but markets of unrest are key. And obviously, we need markets to be disturbed for people to get worried about the, the traditional markets and want to invest into Bitcoin. I highlighted this here. It says Bitcoin has inspired coast-to-coast interest in the States. In the boardrooms of Wall Street, suited executives are planning ways to profit from it. In Silicon Valley's tech campuses and studio apartments, hoodie-wearing programmers are creating apps, tweaking code and proposing protocol upgrades, and enthusiasts across the South through the Midwest into cold Alaska and warm Hawaii are obtaining, holding and occasionally trading Bitcoin. So for you, if you're a newbie, does that sound like this thing's going nowhere but down, or does it sound like it's gathering pace and gathering momentum? The millions of American Bitcoin enthusiasts are right to be excited about Bitcoin's potential to change the world. But most of them, if pressed, will admit that other emerging and unsettled markets hold the keys to mass Bitcoin adoption. So again, like I was saying, we need... Bitcoin doesn't need anything for it to grow, but of course the more markets are disturbed and unsettled, the more people look for safe havens to hold their money, hold their wealth, and that's when they'll start looking at asset classes like Bitcoin. Next article. Again, I talk a lot about Tim Draper, billionaire venture capitalists from the States. Bitcoin is a superior currency that frees people. Tim Draper, I believe that, all of a sudden we have a currency that is not tied to a government and not tied to a geographic territory. Think about that. Governments control money. They control what we earn, what we don't earn, the taxes we pay. Bitcoin frees humanity from those shackles. And he's very, very bullish that in a handful of years from now, one Bitcoin will be worth $250,000. Now, again, none of us have got a crystal ball, people, no price predictions. When you've got massive billionaires, venture capitalists like this saying this is going to happen, and you've got the likes of, Elon Musk from Tesla, you've got Jack Dorsey from Twitter and Square. They're all on this bandwagon that Bitcoin is the place to be, So what I'm saying is get into Bitcoin, start accumulating yourself so that you don't miss this wave of wealth redistribution to the masses. And that's what I think is going to happen. US IRS adds question on crypto usage to new income tax form. What does that mean? On the tax form, they're now starting to ask the question, do you hold any cryptocurrency? I'm in the UK. Well, I'm not at the moment, but I'm based in the UK. So I'm assuming that'll all come here as well. And I think that they'll do everything they can to find out who's holding what. By asking a simple question, if you say no and they find out you have, of course, they've got you by the short and curlies. So, you're going to have to say yes, unless you've gone down the, the complete privacy and coin washing or whatever it's called, there's a name for it, sorry, where you put your coins on to an exchange and they coin mixing, but then, at the end of the day, my philosophy has always been whatever I make, I'll pay my taxes and have done, so all I'm saying here is, if it's happening in the US, it's going to happen in other countries as well. I can promise you. How will Brexit impact the pound and demand for Bitcoin? Some experts answer. Basically, if I can scroll up, if it's gone, all I've put here really is Brexit will see Bitcoin shine brighter for all UK retail investors. I just personally think, not being well versed on economies and, all that type of stuff, I just believe that the more uncertainty that we've got in the world, the more chance we've got of Bitcoin gaining mass adoption. So whilst I don't want to, I don't want doom and gloom. I don't want, currencies collapsing and countries going into turmoil. As these things happen, and you can't keep printing money infinitum. Eventually, we're gonna go into crazy situations where we're already seeing it, aren't we? That the British pound isn't worth anywhere near what it used to be compared to the US dollar. The pound against the euro, we've lost loads of money, against the euro, etc. Excuse me, that's not sustainable. So eventually something has to give, which is why we had the crash of 2008. And I think at some point something like that will happen again. Be well placed, people. Have your Bitcoin accumulation, because ultimately it can't go on forever, and things like this eventually do make a system go pop. Nick Szabo, Bitcoin works infinitely better as a medium of exchange than, he calls it, vaporware Libra. Did I highlight anything he might have said, or was that just me picking? Yeah, I did. Yeah. One by one, the founding members of the Libra Association started to sign off, with PayPal leaving first. Signs of the intentions to leave the association were heard often in the past week before the decisions were finally made. I don't know whether you can quite see that. Hold on. Yep, let me just move that over a bit. Then, in a single day, a handful of payment processors decided against participation with Libra. Visa, MasterCard, Stripe and eBay all offer a different approach to payment systems and basically have started to distance themselves from the Libra coin. Now, why is that relevant to us in Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin doesn't have any regulations around it. Bitcoin just is. You can buy Bitcoin, you can cross borders with it if you can, remember your seed words in your brain, or you've got a Trezor or whatever, until they gain a handle on what these things are. There are no borders that stop Bitcoin going anywhere, and it will just move on regardless. I always liken it to a juggernaut. No one's going to stop it. It is just moving on. Apologies for all the way I'm sitting and everything else, but I am in this hotel room. I'm having to use the mic on my Mac, so if the sound isn't as good as my normal mic, sorry about that, peeps, but we'll be back in the studio in a week or so just bear with me. So just an interesting article as to why Bitcoin is so different to Libra, but of course Libra coin and those types of coins, all they're going to do is just bring people to Bitcoin. I feel that's my thoughts, because the more somebody has an on-ramp into cryptocurrency, the more they're going to start to see the downsides of those coins and then realize that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the future, in my honest opinion. A few tweaks I found. Rhythm Trader, I use a lot from Rhythm Trader. Think about this. Prices when media declared Bitcoin dead. So Wired declared Bitcoin dead when it was at $2. Forbes declared it dead, $15. Bloomberg, 93. NY Mag, $105. Slate, $131, and so on, down to Yahoo, $479. Well, guess what? They all got that wrong, didn't they? And they'll still tell you now when Bitcoin drops, Bitcoin's dead. I don't know how many obituaries it's had. I think when I got into Bitcoin, it had already had 350 obituaries saying Bitcoin is dead. How much more proof do they need that Bitcoin isn't dead just because the price is volatile? So a great tweet, and it doesn't matter what mainstream media FUD, fear, uncertainty and doubt, they try to spread. Bitcoin isn't dead. Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. The work, the development that's going on behind the scenes that the masses don't see is absolutely phenomenal. And Bitcoin, there is only one direction, in my view, that Bitcoin is going. Pomp, I like Pomp. The best investors are known to read non-stop about everything, seek to understand opposing views, refrain from following the crowd. That's a big one. Be comfortable appearing wrong for long periods of time. So, I appear wrong. I spoke to somebody today that said, lost a load of money in Bitcoin. You don't lose money if you buy it and hold it. You lose it on paper, but as you hold it and then it goes again, of course you haven't lost money. So I'm appearing to be mad to most of the people around me. But you know what? I got a saying, he who laughs last laughs longest. So hold, people, and have the courage to act when others are scared. Me, I didn't care what anybody thought. Once my friend called me 2.5 years ago, I went down the rabbit hole. I just knew it was for me. I didn't care what anybody else said. You idiot, what have you gone and got yourself into? You're going to lose money, blah, 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 blah. Don't care, okay? If I live by the sword, I die by the sword. If it goes down, then it goes down. That was my decision as a 60-year-old man to make that decision that Bitcoin was for me. You need to do your own research and then decide if Bitcoin is for you. This channel is about trying to encourage people that for 2.5 years I've learned what I've learned, and I passionately believe Bitcoin is the future. You've got to do your own research, and then what do you believe? And only based on that belief and your gut instinct should you invest into Bitcoin or any cryptocurrencies. Here's one from Gabor Gabax. Every company that is leaving Libra is likely in some ways forced to do it. It's unfortunate, and I'm sorry that capital markets aren't free. Now you have the first-hand understanding of why censorship resistance is so important. If you're brand new, just go and YouTube it. What is censorship resistance? And learn about it. Okay? Very powerful. Bitcoin is censorship resistant. Okay? Very, very strong point. It's based on this CoinDesk tweet. Breaking: eBay and Stripe have joined PayPal in withdrawing from the Facebook-led Libra association. That can't happen with Bitcoin because Libra is a coin owned by a company. So if a government wants to close it down, they can. If the government wants to put constraints on it, they can. They cannot put constraints on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is not a company. There is no figurehead at the top. There are no offices to raid. It is just millions of computers around the world deciphering code, mathematical formulas. You can't stop it. Turning the internet off won't stop it now because you can move Bitcoin via satellite. So Bitcoin's going to roll on regardless, where here we are, Facebook's Libra coin is already looking in doubt as if it's ever going to launch. Final tweet from Ray Dalio. To have both the money you need and the job you want, you have to be creative and flexible. Be creative, people. I'm being creative by just putting out YouTube videos for newbies, for beginners, hoping somebody might listen to this now or in the future and based on what I've said, do their own research and get into the Bitcoin overlay. Yeah, so, be flexible. Don't look for a get-rich-quick scheme. Bitcoin will grow, but it takes time. If you accumulate today, in a decade, you won't know your life. You really won't. But don't leave it till Bitcoin's 100 grand to get some, because then you're going to get way, way, way less Bitcoin for the fiat currency that you're putting into it. A quick shout out to the show sponsors, justlearnbitcoin.com. Anything to do with wallet setup and backup, long-term storage solutions, end-of-life planning, coins sent to the wrong chains, mining, vanity addresses, literally anything to do with Bitcoin, I would head on over to justlearnbitcoin.com. It's all over there. You can read it on the site. The mission, what is Bitcoin, why own Bitcoin, services, wallet services, trading courses. If you really want to trade on this channel, I'll always say, do not trade, you will lose money. I guess what I want to draw your attention to again is this black box on the front page. Please help return 14.2 Bitcoin to Pastor Phil. This is Pastor Phil, and he was hacked out of 14.2 Bitcoin by spammers. He had a Trezor. He knew what he was doing. He was well versed on the Trezor, well versed on cryptocurrency, and yet a tiny error not checking the padlock and the secure button in the URL bar. He was directed to a different site. He put in his seed words to do a firmware update, and wallop, 14.2 Bitcoin gone. Now, the reason I keep highlighting this and keep talking about Pastor Phil is because he's a lovely man. Him and his wife have done such good for the community, taking in disadvantaged children. He was a pastor in the church for 16 years, and he was accumulating his Bitcoin simply to leave a legacy for his family once he was gone, and it was all gone. I keep talking about this at the end of all my shows because I want a whale to pick up on this. I want you all to tweet it out, share it across any social media platform you've got, and hopefully by networking that out, we might get a whale or two, see Phil's plight. You know, billionaires and might say, well, we'll donate him a half a Bitcoin or a 1 Bitcoin or whatever it might be. That is my ultimate goal by keeping promoting Phil's page. So I want to finish up with a quote, if I may, as I always do. This one is from Steve Jobs, and we all know who Steve Jobs is. Think about this. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. That's relevant to me because I was open to getting a call from Gary, and when I found it, I just knew. And I'm on a cruise, a rerun of our honeymoon from 5 years ago, an anniversary cruise, and my wife is fully behind me and backing this because she knows that I found something that's hit me here. I know it's right, and I feel that I need to get my message out to the world about Bitcoin and help, pay it forward. I met a friend today and I paid it forward and just said to him that, check out my website, have a look into it. And that's all I try to do with these channels. So that is the show for today. But I bet you really all want to know who my live guest is going to be on Thursday. So we've had Adam Meister, Gabriel Devine, Ansel Linder, Hass McCook, The Vortex, and numerous others. So who's my guest going to be this Thursday? Well, you know what? It is not going to be a Bitcoiner. It is going to be the wife of the UK Bitcoin Master. Yes, I'm going to interview my missus about what it's like to be the wife of a Bitcoiner that's down the rabbit hole, can't leave it alone. Does she support me? Doesn't she support me? How did she feel when it all kicked off? So guys, please join us on Thursday, and if I can get the premiere timing right, at 6 p.m. UK time for Thursday's live interview. Now, it's obviously not going to be live because I'm on a cruise ship, and on Thursday we're out at sea, so it will be a premiere. But of course, when I interview her, we'll do that live and record it for you all. So give us a great big thumbs up for Elaine, Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master, because she is going to be my live guest on Thursday. So, people, if I can get me back up. Thank you for being on the show with me. As always, like it, share it, subscribe, bash the bell button. Follow me on Twitter at UK Bitcoin Master. Can I really encourage you all to pick up the link to the show, head over to your Twitter and instantly share it across Twitter. If you thought it was good content, just maybe put in the tweet, this is well worth watching from the UK Bitcoin Master. We all help each other. We're all promoting each other's videos, each other's channels. That would be a great help to me. Do check on the squares that are going to appear shortly. That is it. I'm out of here. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, signing off for the rest of my evening. Going to go out for a meal now with my lovely wife. I'm really sorry I couldn't spin the camera around and show you the ocean view out of my over here, the balcony doors. But when I do it, it'll just blind you because I'm pointing the camera straight into the sunshine. So it's not going to happen. So I will catch you all on Thursday. Click on the squares, people. And until Thursday, I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, signing off. Catch you all soon.